Hey guys, so I'm gonna be talking about my plein air painting journey, and I also have all the paintings I did within that journey, and I'll go ahead and talk about my evolution and the problems I faced and all that jazz. So let's get into it. So I probably did about 3 paintings before I started plein air painting with Michael Chamberlain, aka Chamberlain Paintings. I work with acrylic paints, and my main subject matter was portraits. So that's a little bit of a background. I've only, I've been painting in oils probably a year. So I only did like 3 paintings, completed those. I'll go ahead and show which ones I finished. I'm still learning a lot about the craft and everything, so when I went into plein air, I had an open mind and I was excited to learn. Yeah, so that's a bit of the backstory. So let's get into it. By viewing this piece now, I noticed I had a lot of composition issues. Although the rock is a great subject matter, it doesn't need to, take up the whole entire painting. But yeah, I'll go ahead and show a close-up version of these paintings each. But yeah, so composition. Right off the bat, I needed to work on that. Okay, I think this was the second one we did. Around the same area. The colors seem to be saturated. It's like, it wasn't that blue, and it was a misty, foggy day, so it should have been more grayed down a lot more, like the water should have been. Although I do like this little foggy, misty area I got. Yes, I think that kind of worked out in my favor. I think I started improving on my composition and my brushstroke work. I noticed, the less brushstrokes I did, the more appealing it was to me. Started experimenting more with that. I think I over blended in the beginning too much, and that, although some people can that could be something they aim for when it comes to paintings, but for me, my goal was to make a seascape or a landscape as simple as possible and have apparent brushstroke work, and still have that kind of realistic feel to it. So that's where my direction was going. I didn't want anything over blended. I don't want something photorealistic. I wanted something that looked like a painting. Yeah, just every painting I do, I try to look for the good in it, and that motivates me to go on to the next one with a positive mindset. And yeah, I try not to be too hard on myself. Yeah, I like the texture of it. I felt like there was a lot of good brushstroke work in it, and I felt like I was starting to get the colors much more accurately. He had suggested to start using a palette knife for determining color and mixing color as well. Yeah, the composition is kind of boring, not too crazy, but good practice, very good practice. And then this one I did on my own. I can totally point out a lot of things I needed to improve on this one. So I posted this one on my YouTube as well. I think it's overdone too much. It's great, but it's not the feel I was kind of going for. Yeah, I like broad, simple brushstrokes, and I think that I got too much into detail when it comes to trying to do the water and all this stuff. So not my favorite, but it was definitely a learning experience. And then let's get into these little 8x8s. Some of them are seascapes, and some of them are studio work, which allowed me to practice using oils. So this one is of a box of Midol, a blunt, a Swisher packet, and a jar of weed. It's not complete, but it was fun practice. And then there's this wood table in the background. So yeah, this was a good fun study. Is another studio painting I did. It's of macaroons. This one needs to be fixed. It looks kind of like a pancake, but I really dig these two. Yeah, maybe the composition is not that great as well. It probably maybe could have been blown up a lot more. I like the apparent brush strokes and how simple it is. This one is another studio study as well. It's a little dirty. This is a garter belt with an O-ring attached to the middle of it. I had this in my e-girl look. I wore those. And a ring pop. I love it. It's like candy and a garter belt. Just some, like a fun little study. I really like how this one came out. I feel like I learned a lot. It had really, you know, simple brush strokes and not too much going on, and I like that. Like, it was a simple composition, and yeah, I think I accomplished this study really well. And then this one I did in plein air. I have it displayed on my channel as well, as when I went to Monterey and did a study of a cypress tree. I dig how this one came out. Although I wish I would have took more time on the building. Maybe push it to the side more so it wasn't part of the subject matter. I wanted kind of the tree to be the star of it. I definitely want to practice more cypress trees in the future and try to get a hold on that subject matter. I'm not really too good at trees, so that's something I definitely want to improve on. And oh my god, I don't like this one at all. It just seemed like I didn't put, I noticed I was too afraid to put detail into the mountains, or the mountains, the rocks. It just seems really plain and it looks boring. I think in the beginning I didn't sketch out composition at all. I was kind of just going for it. I wasn't having a clear mindset on the composition I wanted to take. I think my paintings in the beginning suffer a lot until I got a little sketchbook. I use a sketchbook every time I go out and plein air paint now. And this was like honestly a game changer. I feel like since I didn't do many like plein air paintings at all, like when I started painting with Michael, I had no idea of like composition, and I think, yeah, my paintings definitely suffered from that. So I needed just a guide in the beginning to figure out and just get used to compositions that are appealing before I start painting on the panel. I think that was very important. So I do sketches every time I go out. This one is one we studied, atmospheric perspective. It's like too structured right here. I think the tree could have been like more kind of crazy and wild. This one is cool. I think, yeah, we did this on a great day for sure. The rocks seem just formatted in a way where it looks appealing. Like you can, I like, you know, the waves where they're at. I don't know, something about it I kind of dig. Although I think I kind of over blended on the top, but I do like the waves. I think I was starting to capture something there. Yeah, definitely I learned a lot on that one. And then this one was cool. We painted this at like in a forest. This a study of some logs. I think the logs came out beautiful. Not to toot, I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I gotta, you know, give it up to myself for that. I think the logs came out pretty cool. Although I think what suffered was, you know, there was some water right here on the bottom, and there's this little hill that was this log was laying on. I think I captured that well, but the water I didn't capture well at all. The water just seems like it's so, you can't understand what this is, and there's a lot of reflection going on, so I think that's why it was such a challenge for me. Yeah, that one was a hard one, but it was fun to like kind of know I was kind of heading in the right direction of with these logs. I think I really captured something realistic about them. And then this one was like, this day was definitely like a breakthrough. It was just a great day. You know, the sun was out and colors were very apparent, and yeah, it just seemed like just such a great subject matter in that moment. Like the clouds parted, and we haven't had light like that, I think, throughout our whole, the time I've painted with Michael. So it was just an exciting day where you can just see all these different colors and you're able to like put it onto a panel. So I was definitely like very precautious before I started. I wanted to get a really good composition, and it's of these like cliffs in Pescadero. I'll go ahead and zoom in on the detail, but I really dig how the colors came out, the very simple broad brushstroke work. I was able to capture what like the brushstroke work I was trying to go for. Michael was still painting, so I told him, I was like, oh, you're still painting. If you're down, I can go grab another panel, a smaller panel. I could just do a small quick study. Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, go for it. I'm still painting. I was like, cool. So I'll go grab one. And I grabbed this little guy, and I did this quick study in like 30 or 20 minutes or so. I had this composition in mind before I did this one, but I knew I couldn't fit this like comp onto an 8x8, so I was like, I'll just just move on. So it was cool that I had enough time to get that that idea out of my head and put it onto a panel. And I think it really came out well. It was a success for sure. And I like how simple and messy it is, because it was a quick study. I think I'm gonna limit my time on paintings now, like when I go out in plein air. These ones I did recently in Monterey. I did this one in Pacific Grove near Asilomar, or on the Asilomar beach. It's cool, but I think I should go back and probably extend these rocks more. Probably clean up this bottom area a little bit. And then this little guy is, it's like a little water study. Little water rock study. I think maybe I have overdid maybe the water ripples a little bit too much. But I think it's cool. Like, I like that the rocks are pretty simple. My favorite part is like these rocks in the bottom. I like just how simple they are. I think I'm gonna go back and darken these a little more so I can just kind of cover this area up. That's it. Let's see. Things I learned a lot was to not overblend. Learning about sizes of brushes. That's a big one. The palette knife is great for determining color and for mixing. Proceeding with caution. Drawing out a good composition before you start painting on the panel. Even though it's so tempting just to go in and rush it, I think it's nice and it's smart to evaluate the scene before you start painting. I think that's it. I think those were like the main key points I've learned so far. I really want to thank Michael for teaching me like literally all these tools about plein air painting. And I think I definitely wouldn't have improved in this like period of time, the short amount of period of time, without him. I was telling Michael that like I feel like I learned so much by just watching him paint, seeing his process and watching his YouTube videos. Definitely helps. But it definitely helps to have someone around and someone near you to kind of cheer you on and talk about inspirations and the idea of painting. And yeah, it's just great to have an artist without an ego around. It's super helpful. And I think I'll end it on that. I appreciate the feedback on my recent videos, and I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.